cool though, 2 combines together.
You are now watching the 2023 season of Farming with Duffy Ag.
Welcome back to the channel. It is about just after 3. As you see, something's different outside of the shop. We'll talk about that in a later video, but appreciate you guys watching along. We're gonna go do something that I'm very excited to actually film. I'll explain on the way down there. So let's dive into today. We've made it to our destination, and as you see, quite the lineup. So where are we actually at?
We are South Wellsboro, PA, on Sweetbriar Road, what we call the Sweetbriar Farm. It was the old Allen place. Dale and his wife still live in the old farmhouse down here, in their place. And basically, we're cutting back from 3. We fed cattle at 3 facilities, and we're up at the peak before COVID to 1,000, 1,100 head a year. Of all natural, humane handled, a lot of gap cattle at 1.2.
You're doing cattle and crops.
Cattle and crops and green beans and wheat.
So you're stepping away from the cattle side, but you're still farming.
We're still farming. We're still...
And not a small operation. It's not like you're selling everything.
But when you look out the back door and you say, well, you know, if we only ever fed cattle at one place, look at the skid steers. There's 4 skid steers, and there's 2 TMR mixers, and you've got 2 extra bedding grinders, and you know, a lot of these tractors we would mow hay with for in cover crops. We raised quite a lot of cover crops and chopped them and put them in the ag bags or in the bunk silo for feed. A little bit of, like at 18400 we planted with, ran on a 16 row, but we've got a newer tractor for that. But basically, we were pulling big manure spreaders and TMR mixers, and when it gets snowy and turns to winter down here, you don't want little tractors.
Yep, you need a horse in front of it.
And so, it's amazing how much you accumulate just in the course of running 3 different cattle businesses, you know, cattle farms. And one of the things we'd like to do next year is kind of in the plans is build a grain elevator down on some of our land in the valley. We've got the kind of the plan in place to do that. And it'll be a good fundraiser for that. Hopefully we can generate some cash to put up some bigger grain bins too.
So today's video, we're going to show off what's going on here, some of your operations. So this is Chris, and
my brother Tony. I think Stevie will be out quick. We pulled a couple tractors out of the lineup. We'll maybe take a look at them down in the shop here, just to do a couple small things that we noticed.
You do quite a lot of work in-house.
It's all the guys at the
everything
shop.
from painting to wrenching, motor jobs,
transmissions, the whole thing. Yep.
And the auction is this Friday, the 22nd?
Yep, 22nd.
So you guys get a day preview on it.
Fraley's.
Fraley's.
Fraley's guy should be rolling in here any minute.
So, and I take it that's going to be online.
It is. They've got it online. I think Equipment Facts, which will be auction time maybe too, and I think Level. It's going to be on Level. So everything's going. It's all getting sold. And
link will be down below so you guys can watch it.
Yep.
We'll put some more information. We'll get it all for you guys.
We'll and then there's still farming operations the grain side. We looked at that already, but we may swing back around there and see the guys combining in the field and you know, other tractors and equipment that are still staying. So
this is quite the lineup. So Chris had called me last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago when I was stock shredding, and we talked for a little bit, looked it up. I'm glad you invited me down.
Yep. Both Cobblesco guys. There's a common connection.
Yep.
And,
so set of triples up here. The plan is we're going to throw the drone up, run down through it so you guys have a view. Somebody, when I did it last time, said, oh, you got to slow down, show more things. You can pause the video. So if that's the case, But
and we're standing behind stuff. Like, there's nothing here. We've been using this stuff day in and day out. We, you know, fixed up what lights and stuff we know of, but mechanically sound, motor sound, transmissions are good. There's not a tractor here that we haven't been running and don't know about. So
you did have some stuff that you wanted to put in the auction, but you didn't feel ready to put in the auction.
Wasn't really quite ready for it. There's one or two issues that we're going to announce on the sale. Stevie and Tony will bring that up at sale time. There's two, and I can't even think what they are off the top of my head. I think one of them was a PTO clutch, but that's a Stevie question, or a Tony question, not a Chris question. So, but the two things that we do know about, we're going to announce. So,
see, this is a step up from, well, larger frame, so you can tune these actually more than the 6155 that I used to operate. You coming up, bud? You gonna pick a tractor out, bud? Yeah. a hell of a loader tractor though.
I'm really impressed with 746 loaders, but we're keeping 2 loader tractors back, so.
7720. Very, very sweet. $81.20. Yeah.
We've got another 9520T that we just got on the farm, and there's 220T over there that we just got out of Iowa. We maybe see them later today in some R series, so we can.
You got a bit. We got a bit of everything.
We can let one 9,000 series tractor go and
yep.
keep doing all right. But this is a Michigan tractor, and it's done as well. We put injectors in it and 3-point PTO.
That'd make a hell of a good dragline tractor for somebody.
We put it on that bag for some. We'd grind some corn with it, but.
And then a 9420.
Yep. 24 speed. Now, and that's power shift.
Yep.
I think we're going to put buckets. We got buckets. We just don't have them up here with the skid steers yet. So.
But as you were saying, you're farming multiple different places, so a skid steer at each one or two.
We're keeping a skid steer back, or two skid steers back. That's the first one we started with when we were dairy farming. Traded for that skid steer, had like 1,000 hours on it, and she has been a champ. It goes to say that if you keep your oils changed and you keep stuff greased and you maintain it, I think we got some seat stuff coming just to improve some of that. But
and these are tough skid steers.
They are.
They're not like the new ones.
We didn't want to get into the new series that bad. We wanted to stay in the LS.
Yep.
In the LX series, just because the electrical problems. But
yep. No, they were workhorses.
I think UPS is coming today with some seat cushions.
Yep.
They've taken a beating. But hey, bud, you find the phone?
This thing's pretty sweet. Isaiah was looking at it online the other day. Still under warranty, I believe, right?
Yeah, yep. We bought it with, double check the hours, but it's around 1,200. And we've worked it this year doing some clearing and stuff. Really good undercarriage.
Yep.
So we were just using it right here the other day cleaning up, so. These are fast. I can't.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we've got a 350 let's axis machine, and they're a Deere basically, right? Except they've got the Hitachi motor in them.
Yep.
But unbelievable fast hydraulics. And
I can't say I've ever run one.
You get a good operator in the seat, and it's really crazy. I think we were talking about this sprayer earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about sprayers since you got quite a few.
We got a couple 30 series, 4730 and 4830. We ran this 4710 this spring some. Our buddy over in Potter County, Carl Long, a lot of people know him, grows potatoes over there. They had a little sprayer trouble, so he borrowed this for the second half of the year. And Phil ran it, spraying for green beans, potatoes and stuff for them. They winterized it, and
here it is.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna own it on Friday.
Somebody's gonna own it come Friday. I looked at the hours on it the other day. I want to say 5,400 maybe hours on it, but we put tires on it, hydro motors, and everything's good.
Yep. Both choppers.
Yep.
You got different heads to pick from.
Heads. Now there's two pieces here that are from the neighbors. The Kemper head's ours.
Yep.
The chain head is the neighbors.
Okay.
And they asked if they could bring that and the Oxbow merger up, and we said sure, why not? You know, it'd be a. We had a couple different hay heads, but
Yep.
Only ever had one corn head.
Same corn head as what I got, except for gearboxes are different. Can't beat them.
Yep, ran both these choppers this year. Chopped haylage with them.
Both 6850s.
Both 6850s, yep. This one's a really good chopper. It's got some hours on it, but it came from our buddies. You can still see their sticker on the side. It needs cleaned up a little, it looks like, from driving it out here, but our buddies up Markport, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Hurlbert. And,
kernel processors?
yep, yep. And they were really good about not pulling dump carts around and tearing hydros out of choppers.
Yep.
Dump carts were meant to go behind tractors, not behind choppers. We were just using this Brent cart the other day. I hate to sell it. It's got everything we always wanted in a cart, with scales and tarp, cameras, adjustable spout. But we last year bought another 1,500 bushel tandem axle cart, grain cart, another Brent, and we've got a 1,300 bushel on tracks down there combining now. So we've got 2 big carts.
Yeah, it's tough having a little one at that point.
Yeah, which 800 bushels not really that little. But
yeah, compared to those other 2.
Yeah, but we've had this, you know, since it was a couple years old, and in our opinion, it's all about the auger. You know, when you're running beside a combine, getting unloaded, getting over to the edge of the field, getting unloaded quick. And because we started with little carts like that when we first started.
So what'd you first start with?
That old UFT 375 at the farm.
Oh, yeah?
With all the expanded foam.
What about a combine? What?
1460. Yep. Yep, that have been
Come a long way, huh?
A bazillion acres. Yep. We've been really blessed. We've got a lot of really good friends, guys that have helped us along the way, teach us a lot of stuff.
So give us some history of when you started, how some of that worked out.
The short version, the long version's the long version, but I'll try to make it short. Yeah, we started part-time crop farming, I think like in 02, with 13 acres in New York and 30 acres in Pennsylvania, and working for our mom and dad in their business. And they were really cool to us. They'd give us 6 weeks off in the spring without pay to go get corn planted and some soybeans back then, and
yep,
rent some ground, and 6 weeks in the fall off to harvest and sell high moisture. And wish we still had our old Superliner that we started with, but we don't. But we didn't. We went to ag school. We kind of had some family in farming and a little bit of background to it. But started with a couple old tractors, and there's a neat guy. Maybe we'll see his place later today. A couple we got to be friends with that we rented our first 13 acres from, and they basically went door to door after that first year for us in the valley, finding folks, more land, and some guys getting out that, you know, we bought their 7520 like yours, and then a couple little grain bins and some equipment to get started, and he handed us over his river ground. And super good guy, still lives down there, was an equipment salesman for a long time. I think he still works for Underforth, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep. Huh. But we had an old grain cart, and wow, lots of late nights.
Yep.
But the difference when we're talking about grain carts from, you know, the small auger to the big auger, it just speeds you up so fast. And then
trucks are gone quicker. You're back to the combine quicker.
So the combine's not waiting. And if you can swing it, getting the biggest auger on a grain cart to, even on combines with high capacity unloads, you know, makes a difference. It really does. But we knew enough. We knew enough to be dangerous and get started, and we had good friends and that have taught us about trucks and transmissions and big tractors, and I can't say enough for you know, the people that have helped us along the way, for real. Maybe we'll run into Montana Mark later that my brother met last year out by Bozeman. And
you were saying he flew in for the week or something.
He flew in, he knew he had a sale, and he's like, I wouldn't mind seeing Pennsylvania and New York. And he's a big farmer from out there, and he's running combine and wrenching tractors.
It makes it good with good people. It definitely does. So
For sure.
but come a long way. Grinder bagger.
Yep. That baby will eat some corn.
You said you put the 9420 on it?
They said these are rated for 300-400 horse, that 9220 on it. It'll put an 8400 on its knee.
Oh yeah. Especially depending on what screen you got in it.
Yeah. Yep. Ooh.
Could get another table.
Yep. So down through there's a couple good bed and choppers. We've kept up maintenance pretty decent on them. Those pick rates are good, and even some of this tillage equipment, we've just outgrown it on the crop side.
Yep.
You know.
You don't see many of these.
Nope. Found that up in western New York, and if we had ground without quite so many stones, that thing would see a lot more use. But if you've got some ground that's not really stony and you want to get over it quick and lighten it up and fluff it,
Yeah,
it really levels it out and you can go pretty quick. And it's an awful good shape. It's I don't think it's seen hardly any use.
Yep.
But it's just, you can see here we got a stone quarry.
Yeah, there's
We
stones.
got rocks. I think there's a packer here for each one of these discs.
Yep.
We got this disc out of Kansas years and years ago. We bought a pair of them out of there. Scott Wilkins up outside Bath.
Yep.
One, and we got this one. And rebladed it. Put 24-inch blades on it.
This is what, 30 something?
34. Yep. Kept up on tires and stuff.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. Good disc. Yeah. But
Now you got 45s, you were saying.
yeah, 45 foot.
You got quite a few of them.
Yeah. I think 2 VTs and 2 9-inch.
Yep.
But that disc came from Empire up in Cortland. Needed blades was all. And we've used that. It's good on hill ground. It is good in the rods.
Yep.
It just isn't 45 foot wide. I think it's 28 or 30.
I was thinking it's somewhere in there.
Yep. And I got a feeling this will be a bargain, just because they're not a big popular tool. But if you want to be in the disc gripping business,
This is a
this
machine.
gets you in the disc gripping business.
Yep.
So it was used when we bought it, and we actually took the time to bore out the holes, and you can see it, to weld up. In my opinion, the problem why these wore out so fast is you just didn't put heavy enough bosses on them. So we drilled them out and bushed them and added on thickwise to each side, to where now it should be a lifetime fix. And put new blades on it, and
This takes some horsepower though.
it pulls hard. It pulls hard. 7 shakes.
It takes, yeah.
It doesn't if you don't put it in.
Yeah. Or if you got really, really light soil.
Yeah. Yep. We just bought another big 20, I think a 19 shank out of South Dakota, I want to say.
Yep.
And so it freed up a Kraus disc chisel. I think this was the 15 shank. Remember.
Yep. Anything Kraus is pretty top notch.
Rugged.
And this goes back to all the beef.
Yep.
As far as moving manure and why there's tractors, because, well, let's see. 1 manure spreader, 2 manure spreader, 3.
Right.
You got 2 bale grinders.
We're still keeping one.
And one. And then, so there's 2 here and then 1 actually at the farm up the road.
Yep.
And then mixer wagons.
Yep.
So it takes a fleet of equipment. Otherwise, you're always switching equipment around.
Equipment, and we're spread out. Between 3 farms, we were spread out, so we had to kind of have a fleet at each place because you can't drive them back and forth every day.
Your area is, what do you think? 45 minutes in a car round circle, or further than that?
Farther than that. Yeah. But made feed every day. We welded inserts in them. I mean, she may not be the sexiest feed mixer in the world, but you can look inside. We made feed right with them.
Yep.
Where they've needed patched and lined, we've done it.
Yep.
So they still got good of life in them. Even though, you know, did a pretty good job welding in the back, you know, honestly.
Yeah, it's just wear parts.
Yep.
That's...
Yep. We're keeping a 4910 big baler. If anybody needs baler parts, we got 2 more of these just for parts back at the farm. Don't look for a crankshaft.
No.
No.
Already use those?
Or knotters. We've got pieces. This axle merger is the neighbors too.
Yep.
Yep. We've got a small merger. We still have some seed in here and some haylage.
Yep.
But we'll get some help from the neighbors chopping it, hire the neighbors to do the chopping, we'll do the trucking hopefully. We'll mow it and use our little merger on it.
Call it good.
Be good.
Not be tied up with having a fleet. Got a bit of everything. Could use some planter parts. How all this works out is because you guys watch along, people have reached out and said, hey, you want to film this or that? And I figured, hey, we're soaking wet, we got some shop work, but it's always great to meet great people, see cool farms, hear great stories, and check out some equipment. Of course, we got our eyes on stuff, but yeah, that's how this works out. And it's because you guys all enjoy watching along on these videos, and I think it's cool showing off stuff that is in the ag world, because no 2 places are the same, and everybody started different ways and is at different places because of that. I like this. Inca wants to ride or something. A lot of stuff. I can't wait to see more of their operation as far as everything they're keeping to farm with, because that's quite the lineup of equipment out there. So 4850.
Yep.
Came in.
They're doing something small in the interior. I'm not even sure. I think it had to do something with the interior in it.
Yeah, side the front panel there.
Yep. So they're pulling that back out today. It wasn't in the lineup. This Massey, we noticed it had a fuel leak when we pulled it out there. It had a drip, so we took the top off the injection pump last night and are taking that down. It needs an O-ring in it.
Yep.
And the same thing on this 6400.
Normal wear and tear stuff.
Yeah, yep. Once we've already got the O-ring, same thing. It just had a fuel leak in the top of the pump, and it's a simple O-ring.
Yep.
And we have the O-ring. We brought it out here so we could get stuff pictured. They'll have it back out today and it'll be right.
Good to go for
rather
Friday.
than sell it with a drip, you know.
Yep.
It's better to fix it. The interrogator out here is just bad luck. Tire's been up. We drove it out here, sat overnight, and it went down. So that's on today's list too. Put a new O-ring in that. Make sure she's good and holds air.
Yep.
They're good tires on it, and this one was up. So
it's just the nature of tires.
It is fun stuff in the winter, but we've had this one for quite a while. This is the first one we started with a 8.3 in it and a Terra shift. It's she is what she is, but she's sound.
Yep.
We looked at these for spreading lime and fertilizer, and for what they bring, you could get a ton of work done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you don't get stuck.
Yeah, they go a lot of places.
Yep. So other than little cosmetics, she's...
Yep. It's the nature of spreading fertilizer.
Right. But it's a stainless box, and
yep.
it's a good rig.
Literally standing here, tire man's here. Huh. Yeah, that works out.
Good timing.
Well, they're still organizing some things. Tires all fixed. Pretty much everything's ready though.
We're pretty ready.
So gave you guys a flyover front and back. Having it lined up so I could fly down the back was pretty nice. Then you could see. So if you saw a tractor you like, links down below. Check it out on that. And then the auction will be Friday 9?
Late morning.
Late morning?
Yep, 9 or 10 again. Yeah.
Okay, so the details will be down below it. No buyer's premium, so what you bid is what you get. And yeah, check it out. So we're gonna cruise around a little bit. We saw the beef barn, flew the drone up there. That was pretty good. Mixing feed and washing that 7930. So we're wandering around. This was the beef facility,
Yes.
and it was a milking facility to begin with.
To begin with, when we bought it, they were still dairying cows, and with the previous owners, we worked together for a year or so and started making it over to handle raising beef. We tried it both ways with the stalls left in and with a mount, and I'm not opposed to having stalls in. It worked decent.
Yep.
Training a beef cow to use a freestall, it takes a little bit
different.
But they catch on. The best way we found was to go buy a pallet of salt blocks and put a
'em
salt
in
block
front.
in the front of every stall, and they figure that out pretty good. But you have to watch them
Yep.
in the morning and night to make sure nobody gets stuck. Storing some bedding straw inside right here now. But we used, for folks that know the dairy side of things and how freestalls work from the milking parlor, there's the cross alley area, and we did quite a lot of gate fabrication and building here on farm. This is a chute similar to the one we're selling at the auction. It came from the other farm, but we're leaving this in. We took the cross alley and made a handling system and built our own scale box here and double laneway coming into it.
Yep.
So coming off when we would doctor and treat cattle, I love these arrow Q catches with a head holder here for when we're tagging or deworming.
No fighting and
Giving vaccinations, it holds them without hurting them, and when we let them out
it's nice and out of the way.
forward, yeah. A lot of times when we had the kids helping us, we found out you'd get a wild cow and it'd want to come back at you in here where everybody's working. So we're like, well, we need a gate that protects us.
Yep.
It makes a steer or heifer go forward, but you don't want it in the way. So we thought this up, and this doesn't even latch, but you can get here and
work
work
with
with
it.
your cow or do whatever you need to do. And as soon as you're done, right out, and we can sort them into two different patties there. We can sort them into the heifer barn. This was the old palpation rail when it was a dairy, and we took that out, left some of the posts, had another area if we needed to sort one off that was sick or whatever. It was kind of tricky to figure out how to put a bench in here so we could keep our you know, tags and vitamins and minerals and stuff where we could use it, but still be able to cross cattle through this area.
Yep.
And one of the guys came up with the idea of, why don't we mount it to the ceiling, get a coverage, and
gets it right out of the
way. Which was a really good plan. It worked really good. So you can raise your table out of the way, run cattle back through.
So when did you take this facility over?
I'd have to look. It's been maybe 19, 20, somewhere in there. I think 19.
Yep.
Had a place to load top cattle trailers out, kind of a load out area here. So we fed cattle at 3 different farms. This was the 3rd one. Basically, we've closed the other 2 farms, and because the market's changing, because of everything after COVID, we've still got some cattle here. The one where we had the other arrow chute that we're selling, this is the holding area that would normally feed dairy cows into the milking parlor. We built in that free stall that we were renting, we built a bud box in there in a laneway and put our chute in that area, and it worked okay. But we wanted to see if beef cattle would handle the crowd gate.
Pushing them in?
Yeah, that normally you use to load cows into the parlor. We weren't sure if it would work. We talked about it. It was like, well, let's try it at least. And it actually works really good. We had to add a few more pipes in, you know, so nobody wanted to get out.
Yep.
And we found they don't like coming downhill with the activity here. They like going uphill that way better. So we would load 50 or 60 in here, work the crowd gate forward to the corner, and bring them down the return alley.
Yep.
Put some gates up there, you know, so just keep working them forward. And it was something we saw online. You can buy a double laneway system that's portable, but we just made use of the space we had. So we've got a double laneway, if you can imagine it, 2 rows of cattle coming straight down through to go to the scales and the chute.
Yep.
Couldn't leave it permanent. We had to, because we crossed cattle between the barns here, we had to build it so that every panel is a gate.
Yep.
And it can open and close. But yeah, it worked good. Sometimes we'd load goosenecks here. And
You don't want to go back to milking cows?
I'm good at the moment. If anybody wants to lease a nice facility to raise heifers,
It's here.
there's feed here. And things might change someday. You never know. Economics of dairy.
If it became stable. Even though I'm here filming the pre-auction, I'm getting the whole tour of everything. So, you still have feed, clearly.
Yeah, we still have lots of feed inventory, haylage.
You're going to raise some beef cows.
Finish the ones we have, and wait to see if we've got a decent market again in time. Nothing against the beef business. It's treated us very well. We're still keeping our silage trucks and pushing tractor, our dump carts, 1 manure spreader we're keeping.
That's pretty neat with singles on it.
Yeah. Yep, load to 30.5, 32's up. Make her heavy, she packs pretty good.
Very neat.
Use it to pack bunk and push silage. We're keeping the table bagger for now, because we'd never be able to replace it if we ever wanted to. We've made some bags of high moisture in the past. We got that nice hammer mills. You know, if we need one of those again in the future, we'll probably rent one for no more than we use it in the course of a year. The hammer mill bagger's in the auction, and we'll go around back and show you the stone pit out there. That was the first thing we did when we bought this place, is started digging shale out of the bank, and then we actually dynamited it for, I think, about 10,000 ton of material, and used it right here on the farm to expand the pad where we're standing is all new.
Yep.
And all the farm lanes around the buildings. So the equipment wasn't dragging through the mud every day.
Yep.
We used all that stone up on the farm, but the blasting permit was good, so we shot another time before the permit ran out. Blew up another 30,000 ton of rock. That's pretty cool. This is an extra corn head that I think we robbed a snout off of the extra.
I see that one. Yep.
So guys are all still combining, hopefully getting going again today now that the rains froze up some, and maybe we'll catch them later.
I wouldn't mind this corn head.
These chopping corn heads.
The chopping side of it is a big game changer.
We had a stock mower just like yours when we started, and we mowed a lot of stalks.
So, see on these rollers, those are more aggressive. They're two-piece, and then they actually have the chopper. So instead of what I'm doing where I'm driving around with a chopping mower, it's done one pass.
And
someday
we'll take a look at the residue. It really
does a good job.
Good job, and it sets you up, especially if you're no-tilling any the following year. It just sets everything up. Your residue is distributed evenly. It's chopped up really fine. Even here in the north, where we don't get a lot of warm temperatures, corn stalks break down.
Yep.
You know, a lot faster.
Someday.
Someday. We all started. We mowed a lot of stalks with a flail mower.
Yeah. So this is what you were talking about, blasting.
The shale got pretty hard to dig, and then we ran into that. We were digging it and loading it with an excavator, and we ran into good bluestone that was really hard.
Yeah.
That makes really good material. So we went and found Fred and Wilma Flintstone and bought their gravel crusher. And
that is
Barney Rubble's conveyor, and we come out here and play in the quarry when we're bored.
Yep.
Turn big stones into little stones. It's actually pretty fun.
I could imagine so.
We've got a little screener too we put together that we have down in the valley right now that we can sort and screen some stone with. Maybe we'll permit it. A lot of people have asked us if we're selling the farm. We're not selling the farm. If we do, it'll be one truckload at a time.
Yeah.
But we need a permit before we're allowed to sell anything.
So everything's used in-house right now, roadways, yeah. Building projects.
Yep.
But that's a handy thing to have right there.
Yeah. Just helped clear up the end of this field where we've got some cover crops in and cleaned it up. He's planting wildflowers in there through NRCS and stream bank stuff, stabilization along the stream. This is a trout stream. Last couple of years upstream he's been working a lot with Trout Unlimited and doing stream bank stabilization stuff.
Okay.
For trout. We work these fields up on the side hill. You might see our one tractor and scraper pan there.
Yep.
Filling in a old eroded ditch from years ago.
So there are quite a bit of trout that comes down through everything?
Yeah, this is a native trout stream.
Yeah. Huh. And what's your cover crop?
This is oats mostly.
Oats. We're back here at the home farm, and they're actually got 1 out of 3 combines rolling right now. Dryers are running, and Nick was having friends. So quite the operation of equipment. They got bags running out of storage, stuff like that. So I think he said they still got 750 acres to go. Yeah, just been that type of year. Some planter setups, 82 85R with an air seeder, 410R, 9360R, one planter. Great to set up. 1775 NT. Air seeder cart. 1770 NT. That is on the, what did I say? That was a 9360R. So they do green beans and some other specialty beans. So that air cart, air seeder, and then what else we got right here? A 1770 NT. So pretty wild. Box fields, bulk fields. Definitely cool stuff. What are you doing? Making friends. So how much storage is here?
I think around 230,000 bushels total.
230. And this has been a long time, well, multiple different stages of everything as you've been going.
Yeah. I think we built the first couple little ones maybe around 09, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of added a lot of new stuff we put together to get started. And basically, well, the way we've been doing it is running trucks in, full trucks full in. And Dave's there unloading. As soon as he's got an empty truck, Dave will pull that truck ahead and pull another one in and just keep unloading trucks. So the guys for the CDLs stay on the road.
Yep.
Instead of staying in, that's not, they jump out of one truck, the full one, and jump into an empty one.
They're not sitting around.
Right. Nobody has their own special truck in mind.
Yeah. So how many trucks on the road? A lot. So, as we said previously, they do a lot of stuff in-house, motor jobs, but fleets of trucks to keep things moving. So right now you're only running one combine.
Yeah, today there's two down there.
There's two down there, but one's running.
One's running because we got stuff going on with the auction getting ready.
Yeah.
But we're finally back drying after the rain.
So unloading one hopper there,
Yep.
and unloading one hopper there.
Yep. We were talking about it earlier, but our top dry that we usually dry is going in now.
Yeah.
Plus, we knew we had a lot of corn this year, so last minute hurry up. We found two old used dryers. Shoehorned them in there last minute just to get through this harvest.
Just for more capacity of drying.
Keep ahead of the combines this year. That's good for us. Friends don't let friends drive ball boats until you actually own one, and then everybody wants to drive the orange peeler. They are nice riding trucks.
Oh, that's your third combine that
Yep.
hasn't run much this year?
No, it's been on and off.
Okay.
Running hill corn with it back here around the farm, but basically we're getting everything out there and set up for the auction. We've run 2 for the most part instead of 3. But,
And then like we were saying previously, 45-foot tillage tools.
Yep.
So that's a
Everything's
9330.
kinda getting bigger. And
That 4960.
yeah, and the spreaders, that's why we're selling those 2 spreaders. We got this prowler and then we were talking about this tractor. It was one that there's no harm in using it. It doesn't really need anything. It just needed a little bit more dressing up and a couple things fixed.
Because you thought about putting that in the auction,
We were
but
thinking about putting it in. Yep, but it's
just little things.
yeah, little things. But
Hold on to it, and I'll come take it off your hands someday.
but it'll just keep working.
Yep.
You saw the airflow, the other airflow out in the shop, and there's days when it's nice to have an airflow rig around if it's real windy and you're trying to spread. But these guys are a game changer.
4930 and
We've quit
4830.
corn with liquid and gone to dry.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, a mixture of urea and it's a different product. It's got some sulfur in it and it spreads really good. They're really hard pellets.
Huh.
And
You're seeing a better gain on it?
yeah, it's good or better, but you can go over way more acres.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot faster. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's why the other sprayer.
Yep. Hold on.
Well, we flew the drone as far as it could go up the hill, as you guys seen. Now we're up in here, so that's at 350. The other one is a 210, right?
210, yep.
Driving out back here.
Seeing if we can turn abandoned farmland back into something productive again.
Yep. So you'll work on this side next? Is that the plan, or?
Yep, we're pulling. There's a lot of hemlock up here dying. Somebody probably knows what the disease is it has. I can't remember it. But we pulled a bunch of hemlock out and burned a lot of brush, saved what logs and lumber we could out of it.
Yep.
And hoping to build a couple pole barns coming up. And so we've got quite a bit of hemlock pulled out here. Over weeds grew up around it this summer.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have a firewood party here after the first of the year. But one of the guys you saw down at the farm this morning runs sawmill here for us full time, and a young lad. So we ended up getting into pulling our own trees and skidding our landing loader and log trailers and
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything going on. It's hard to get exactly what you want sawed the way you want it when you want it.
Yeah.
And especially the little stuff none of the buyers want. There's white oak and hickory and stuff that it was too small to sell. But we've sawed it and stickered it for trailer decks and, you know,
all sorts of aspects.
This is just a dream come true.
Yeah.
So Timco is down there in the woods. That's hopefully spends more time in that this winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a view too. Oh.
It's a beautiful spot. This was that first farm we bought, I was telling you, or the first farm we ever worked.
Yep.
In New York State. And there were 7 or 8 different little field patches up here. We got rid of the hedgerows this year and maybe get some tile in it here in the future and
make good farm ground again.
Yep. Get her dried out, hopefully. Save the hemlock and stuff that we can and work on that this winter.
There you go.
Get a couple pole barns built. He's got me some beams sawed out over there to start on my garage with. So
it's crazy. Quite a lot of stuff going on here. $97.60 STS with big singles. This is quite the spread of land. We're looking for the other combine. Well, this truck was there when we left.
Yeah, I guess they beat us here.
Yeah, we went on a little scenic tour there for you guys, but the one combine, the other one's across the road, and then the third one's at home. Both carts.
Kind of running a half crew today, finishing up at the auction. Everybody should be down here. Kicking into high gear maybe tomorrow.
Yep. There's quite the spread of land here. So I used to work at the De La Valve, well, work with the De La Valve dealership when I worked for De La Valve, and it's like mile and a half north of here. So that goes back to Big Auger. So that's a 1,500 bushel, and that's a 12, 13.
Yeah. So Mitchell drove this cart. We bought this out of northern Illinois, towards Minnesota or Wisconsin, the other side of Chicago, and we realized we still couldn't lowboy at home. So we took a tractor out with bad rubber on it. I think the 285R at the shop.
Yep.
And he
drove it all the way back.
He two-ringed it home. Took him. Dave followed him. I think it took him 4 days.
Really not bad.
No. So if that was you behind us on the way, we're really sorry.
So plant with that tractor too then?
Yep, we pull one of them 24 roads for that guy. I'm not sure where Mark is. He must be around.
So they were just running the one combine. Now they're running both.
I guess Tony's daughter Alex just showed up to run combine. This is her maiden voyage.
Yeah. Just push the lever.
Just push
Hey,
the
I got a
lever.
kid named Robert and he just pushes the lever forward.
I'll jump in with her since this is her first go round if you want to jump in with her.
Yep. So 9660 STX on tracks.
I met Tony this summer and then kind of joked about just coming out to help, and he called me this fall. We want to come pick corn? Absolutely. And hopped on a plane a couple days later, and here we are.
You farm in Montana then?
Yep. Broad acre dry land. We raise wheat, barley, green peas, yellow peas, chickpeas, lentils.
Oh. Quite a few acres then?
We're about 9,000 between the two farms. We have a farm in an irrigated county, real highly productive area, and then like 300 miles north where I live now, it's all dry land.
Yeah.
Kind of a low rainfall. Our average is supposed to be 12 inches a year, but we haven't got that in 3 years I've been there.
Holy
Been
smokes.
a pretty bad drought.
We got, I think that in 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, luckily wheat doesn't take as much, but you know, where I'm at, well, I would love a 30 bushel wheat crop at this point, but 40 would be, you know, a good crop. Lentils, you know, 25, 30.
Yep.
Chickpeas would be similar.
A whole different ball game. We could have had the water shut off and you guys could use some water.
Yeah.
What's this? 211 average. This is pretty good ground that I never even knew existed down here.
Yeah, and most of it's been averaging a lot better, but
Yeah.
I've been opening up. All I've done so far today is outside rounds and a lot of maxing out about 3.5. We can just go around this first piece instead of, well, yeah, just follow me.
9320T. Pretty freaking cool though, two combines together. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get the drone out. We might be in flight space. How you doing? How you doing? Your friend's over here. But if we can get both of them running side by side, that's cool. So I'll go grab the drone and see if it wants to fly. Well, we're close enough to the airport. Can't fly the drone. Shuts you right down, which we kind of talked about that before. The landowner said that might be the case. But both combines running. It doesn't take long to fill a truck at that rate. Like, not at all. Get some action of them coming around. See, that's what we needed for a buggy this year. Maybe someday.
Some of you guys might know about Farnsworth. Stuart Farnsworth in Osceola sold his dairy cows a few years ago.
Okay.
Yep. And Braley's did his auction, did a really good job. He's driving the track guy.
So he used to farm? It's amazing when you get done
So did
farming,
Pete did
you go
too.
right back to farming anyways.
Pete and his brother took still cows out of his life, and his brother Bobby sold out here a year or two ago. It's hard to get it out of your blood, you know. I think Alex is doing pretty good for himself.
That's their first time running combine. Yeah. Come on, bud.
I just had to run because the drone, no fly, means I gotta put some legwork in for the content for you guys.
It is pretty neat seeing two of them run. So that's a 9760 STS. That's a 9660 STS. Big singles. Tracks. Pretty cool though. Pretty freaking cool. Trucks don't sit around long here. Truck's leaving. Another one about half full. God, I love the sound of it. Pre-emission tractors. Gotta love it. Which they got quite a few of them selling Friday, so go check them out. That's the whole reason we're actually, well, here, I got the offer of, hey, you want to come out and film? We'll show you some of the operation. But I appreciate Chris bringing me along. He showed me everything. So we saw it all. I'm glad you guys tagged along for this long because a little harvest action. And as we see, not everybody's done with harvest. So there's quite a few. Their corn was doing pretty good. Mid 200s really was what they were averaging. He was doing headlands and stuff like that, messing around. So he was at 215, but an instant average was like 250 pretty much the whole time. 19%. Pretty good corn. Well, I appreciate Chris giving me the full tour, letting me out here, showing me around all the equipment, not just the auction stuff. Keep in mind, they're still farming. And all that equipment farmed up until, well, Friday pretty much. That is the lineup. So absolutely quality. You never know when you go into a scenario how it's going to be, and today was awesome. So I hope you guys had a fun time. I got to get back. It's actually Isaiah's birthday, so we got to take him to dinner because, you know, you only turn 21 once. But really sweet event. So link is down below for the auction. Make sure you check it out. Friday the 22nd, which is tomorrow if you're watching this video at the live time. And yeah, here comes another truck in. They're just go. So awesome operation. They're just getting out of the beef side of it, so there's a quality lineup of equipment that could be yours. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.